What? Huh? What's going on? Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Tuesday, March 12th, 2019. See, I'm starting to get it down. Getting the right date. Right year anyway, right? So I'm going to show you the sky here real quick first. It's absolutely gorgeous sky. No clouds today. This morning we had a dusting of snow overnight, and then it was actually snowing this morning, and then it cleared up. And yes, I hear you. What? Hi. This is Buddy, as anybody knows. This is he's my tough guy. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, pretty decent out as far as that goes. It's temperature-wise, we're at about 36 degrees today. So, and then it's supposed to get warmer, and get some of this snow melted would be really awesome. We've had some meltage, obviously, today with the sun out and stuff like that, and a little bit warmer temperatures, so that's not a bad thing. So, decent day for power. You can see the sun is right here. Still got a little bit of the trees blocking it, but every day the sun gets a little bit higher, so that's not a bad thing either. And it's about 3 in the afternoon right now. So anyway, let's talk about the topic of today. Let's talk about Venezuela. And is this a precursor what could happen here in the United States with the power outages down there, and how it's affecting things? And it's like I wanted to really talk about like what's going on with the hospitals and stuff like that down there. So we're going into I think it's day 4 of the blackouts down there and power outages that affected 22 of the 23 states in Venezuela, and they're still having issues down there. So there's a couple different causes that it's being explained away as why they're having these issues with the power outages. And one of the issues they were saying was that you had poor maintenance as far as the electrical grid goes, because of the fact that once it was government takeover of the power grid, that they haven't had the maintenance on the lines, and dealing with the overgrowth and stuff like that, which caused fires and stuff like that. Because I don't know if you guys remember here, last year they came through and cleaned out, and you can kind of see it down that way. They cleaned out the woods around the power lines because there was a lot of issues the winter before with power outages up here because of inclement weather and branches coming down and taking out power lines and stuff like that. So for the people that live up here with me that are on the power grid, there was the previous winter they were knocked out power like I think 3 or 4 times, and this winter I don't think they got the power knocked out this winter, because they've come up and they've buddy, relax, stop, you're killing me with your nails. But they haven't had that issue because they took care of the power line. So that was one of the reasons they were saying down in Venezuela that they were having issues, because the government takeover of the grid down there, that they haven't had the maintenance that they should be having when it was all done privately. Of course, the other thing people are saying is that the United States is behind the blackouts and the power outages down there, and those So I mean, you know what? Will we know the real deal? Probably not. But the fact is, they're having issues with the power grid down in Venezuela. So let's talk about the hospitals and stuff like that. The biggest issue that they're having is staff not showing up. And so you got power outages, and so the public transportation isn't working, so people can't get to work, so they're having issues as far as getting to work, and you got a lot of people just staying home. And so I think that's a really good indication, a really great example of what would happen here. Same type of situation, if the grid went down or we were having major issues with the grid, people would just stop going to work. So I've kind of talked about that before, and I've talked about that people will walk off the jobs, if there is a major power outage here in the United States, that people would just say the heck with it and they would go home. So that is not surprising at all, and it's a really, if you want to look at it in like a microcosm of what's happening there, and the deaths so far in the hospitals, I think they've attributed 17 deaths to, at least 17 deaths, to the power outages, and a lot of those deaths, I think 15 of them were people with that were on dialysis, and I've kind of talked about that a little bit. That if they can't get their dialysis, and without the power, they can't run the dialysis machine, that people are going to get filled up with fluid and they're going to die. So that is not surprising in that part of it at all. There was a lady that down there, one of the articles that I was reading, that had taken her son to the hospital, and there was not a pediatric physician on staff at the hospital. Her son ended up dying. Now, I mean, I don't know what all the details were as far as what led up to that, but this is a real good example, guys. I mean, this is something that people really should be paying attention to with a partial failure of the grid or a full failure of the grid. How is that going to affect things? And they're obviously working on trying to get the power back squared away down there and stuff like that. So, and there's like a bunch of countries that are willing to help and try to help them get that back up online and stuff like that. Of course, Maduro, the president, is blaming the United States for the power outages. And realistically, would it shock me if the United States was behind it? Not at all. It wouldn't shock me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, I know it was the United States. I would never say that because I don't know. But it would not shock me if the United States was behind it. To just cause more suffering down there, to try to discredit him, to try to get the puppet that we have in Guaidó, I think is how you say his name. I'm not sure exactly how you say his name. But to get him in power. I mean, it's like, and how did he get to be the figurehead when he was never elected? I have no idea. But, that's, who the United States would like to have in power, because he's going to play ball with the United States. That's exactly how that works. Again, it's the United States sticking their fingers in pies that we don't need to have our fingers stuck in. But that's what we do. And like I said, the reality is, I mean, and what people really, really, really need to think about, what is the reality here? What is it? The bottom line, do we give a crap about the Venezuelan people? No, the United States doesn't. I mean, the people individually may, but we're talking the government. When I say we, I mean the government. What does the government of the United States care about the Venezuelan people? Not really. They may say they do, they may give it lip service, and we care so much and we're so concerned and blah, blah, blah. Well, if they were so concerned, they'd lift sanctions and let the country be able to prosper, as they should be able to. But that will never, ever happen, okay? What is the United States concerned about? We are concerned about oil, that's number one, and the fact that Venezuela is another country that wanted to come off the fiat dollar and to have gold-backed currency. Heaven forbid that we can't allow that to happen. The people in charge absolutely cannot allow that to happen. So they will definitely continue to cause heartache, to cause problems down there, to interfere until we get our way. Because why? Because we are the bullies of the world. Do as we say or we will ruin you. Look what happened in Libya, okay? Gaddafi, he may have been a dictator, but he was actually helping his people. And so we got involved in that behind the scenes with the resistance, and we backed them. And so now they're back to being a crappy country. And again, they wanted to go off the fiat dollar and wanted to have a gold-backed standard. And so we couldn't allow that to happen because we have to be in charge. And again, Libya, another oil-rich country, okay? Same thing with Iraq, It wasn't, I always laugh when they talk about, how these like dirty desert areas are, this huge threat to the United States. It's a bunch of crap. What it always comes down to, always, is about oil, mineral reserves. Afghanistan, it's about the uranium and all those minerals and stuff like that over in there. And again, it's power and control, guys. That's what the United States is all about, power and control. And, like I said, I think we need to really focus, in my opinion, again, we need to get our troops home. Let the rest of the world do what they're going to do. We need to take care of ourselves, build up our own country, work on our infrastructure, make our country great. You know, somebody had talked about, you know, like we were talking, I was talking in one video about the high taxes in New York State, and somebody was saying, you know, well, the reason you have all those high taxes in New York State, you know, you've got really good roads and all this type of stuff. Now, anybody that's driven in New York State, come up here and tell me how awesome our freaking roads are. Our roads are crap, okay? They actually have different like asphalt and stuff like that that will really last a long time. But they don't use that. They use this other crap that's not going to last. It's going to break down, because that way it keeps these companies working. I mean, it's just, it amazes me, it really amazes me that there's all these different ways that things could be done better, more efficient, but then these people wouldn't have jobs after everything was fixed, and we can't have that. So we got to have substandard, you know, products being used on the roads so that they'll break down within inside of a couple of years, and then they get to do it all over again. Absolutely crazy. Because I know, like in the city of Rochester, they had, you know, redone 390 in this whole area. There's been a big construction project up in Greece area where they're redoing stuff, and within inside of a couple of years, those roads will be crap again. It's just, it's amazing to me. It really is. And we got, you know, we get pretty harsh winters up here, and there's a lot of wear and tear and stuff like that. But they actually do have asphalt that is better, that can be used, that will last a long time, and that's not what we use. So again, it just, I don't understand the thinking of that. You know, why not use the best products available, really work on the whole country and make it better? It's like, that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on America. We need to focus on, you know, taking care of our veterans, taking care of our old people, and not just throwing them away in nursing homes and waiting for them to rot and die. I mean, they should be taken care of. These are the people that, you know, for years and years and years made this country what it, you know, what it was back in our heyday. We're on a slow decline, guys. I mean, I don't, you know, if anybody's paying attention to stuff, we are on a slow decline, and it's very sad. But I definitely want to hear you guys' feedback on the whole Venezuelan situation, because I think it's important to watch that, to see what's happening, because those type of things can happen here in the United States too, you know, and when that does happen here, the power grid is definitely our weakest point, guys. It really is, and it's really scary to think about how bad things could be if the power grid goes down. If there is sabotage or an EMP in those type of situations, it's going to be a really bad situation here in the United States. So anyway, this cat is a nut here. He is an awesome cat. That's Mr. Buddy. So anyway, on that note, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I definitely want your feedback. I want to hear what you have to say. Remember, we are all in this together. That's important to remember, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that. If we work together and try to help each other, it's going to make our country a much better place, and around the world. I mean, anybody around the world working together is going to make things better. So remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know. So to tell the people that you care about every day how you feel is really important. And also, guys, remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to hold you back from doing that is yourself, okay? Nobody else can stop you. So focus, stay positive, and you can get wherever you want to be. Stay away from negativity. Negative people are just miserable, unhappy people, and they want to bring you down to their level. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.